Even before a ball is kicked today, we can report something of a triumph, and that's for the groundsman, who presided over monsoon conditions all morning and tended a pitch that's had a certain notoriety to it in the past and made it eminently playable, even though it's obviously going to be very heavy in a test of endurance. In a week in which Jim Jeffries has again underlined financial restraint, Hearts stick to a familiar pattern and retain the side which drew at Pittodrie with Gary McSwegan, who scored last week's goal, leading the line again. And in defence, Hearts candidate for a Scotland place, Gary Naismith, who scored a glorious goal at Parkhead last season and one of the great prospects for the future. Back for Celtic is Jackie McNamara, Tommy Boyd moving to the bench. The other change, of course, is the return of Chris Sutton. Now, the Ayatollah of Stamford Bridge has been making some disparaging remarks about him. So now's the time to ram the words back down the man's throat and revive his career in Scotland. And the referee today, familiar features of Willie Young. While this usually is a tempestuous affair between these two teams, I would suggest that anybody who is lacking full match fitness or doesn't concentrate like a laser will suffer in this game. I think Hearts and Celtic will be aware that it's 5 years since Celtic lost back-to-back league games, although I also think that Martin O'Neill is trying to get them to forget the recent past and get on with a much more productive future. Bad ball by Niemi Balfieran. Sutton offside, I think. Oh, the play goes on. Well, Sutton was offside in my view. Larson was. Well, the ball was swept across there. Before it got to him, I thought Larson was in that offside position, and then there was a rebound. Getting a little bit anxious at the amount of ball that's slipping away from his midfielders. Petar. Now, first time we've seen Sutton getting control of it, and when he does, the referee judges he used an arm to bring it under control, bringing a large smile to his face. And I think Willie Young's going to have a word with Martin O'Neill, the first time perhaps since he arrived in Scotland that he's exchanging pleasantries with the referee. Gentle warning in his ear to the Irishman, who does become very animated, and why not? They seem rather apologetic about it. Severin picking up a lot of the ball on the left-hand side, but the forward service has got to be better than that. Look at the space that Sutton had. Nice, neat little ball there as Larson goes round the keeper, but the flag was up. That, I think, was perilously close. I mean, that picture doesn't quite tell the full story, because I think he ran from a very flat position with the defender. Very close indeed. And Hart just happy to get way out of the danger zone. Lovely run by Cameron. He's lacking support though, and that's why he had to go for it. He had nobody in the box alongside him, although Darren Jackson was making the point ultimately that he was square with Cameron as he tried out the Celtic goalkeeper. Petar. Well, that's a dangerous one. Darren Jackson, and that's a brilliant save by Gould. McSwegan coming in after excellent work by Darren Jackson. Terrible ball played back in there, but as McSwegan came in, you could see this man narrowing the angle, but he did need that reflexive movement of his right arm as well. Under pressure again. Swept in and still not cleared, and eventually Lambert remains cool with that little pass back. Better phase for Hearts this. That should be straight to Gould this time. And for the first time in the game, the Celtic defence looked rather bemused, just getting away with it. Well, I think a little perplexed. Celtic seemed to have control of the game in the last 15 minutes, and then suddenly that little buzz by Hearts, and I think his heart must have been in his mouth. Kamara. Hearts not cleaning the lines at all well. The boot was up by Petter. There's Darren Jackson taking his eye right off it. Valcheren strong in the tackle. Colin Cameron got away from that one. Just too much on it from Larson. Celtic winning the balls though in midfield. Petrov tried a little 1-2, and there it's taken away from his own goalkeeper. Celtic menacing again. There's Sutton, he's done it. Chris Sutton scores his second goal for the club in the right position at the right time, and answering his critics in the south in the most positive manner. Picked up well by Petter. Look at the curl in the ball, but the big fella had to be in the right place at the right time, and look at the way he controlled it with that downward angled header. Celtic at this stage deservedly up to the very expensive signing, beginning payback time for this man. Here's Fulton. Moravchik said he went for the ball, the referee said the opposite. It goes to Jackson, that's another free kick, I think. Well, there didn't need to be that kind of challenge on him. So, Severin is there, Fulton also, there's Severin with it! Great save again by Gould. And the two best saves in the match so far by the big Celtic goalkeeper, who I think has tried to convince everybody that there's no need for a replacement, and twice he's proved it. An instinctive save, that's not an easy one in that surface, given the ball had just had that little slide before it met him. Actually, touch run by Sutton. Powerful run, he's still with it. He's got two players inside and he can't get it across. And we've seen two sides of this man, both the neat way he came in to take his header and also that surging, powerful run. Oh, there he is again! Sutton with a head. And it may well be the beginning of a very prolific season for this man, especially if he gets as much accommodation in the air as his Hearts defence has given him. Who was supposed to be marking? Celtic 2 up. And you can see the way he creeps into that space, and again deftly dealt with. Still had to guide the ball in there. A little bit of a climbing there by Darren Jackson. That's almost to Larson, and again that long high ball seems to be occasionally misjudged by the defenders. He's in there to pounce. And just out, this is Moravchik off the line. Well, Makel was in there and the post. Driven in beautifully by Moravchik. Yes, I think there's going to be a booking here. Free kick to Celtic as Jackson pulls down Petrov, but that was a very difficult ball for Moravchik to take. Sometimes they're ballooned over the bar, but he kept it down very well, hard at the feet of the player and the post, and back out again. Moravchik. There he is again, almost in. Lambert just by us in. There was a deflection. I think Larsson might have got a touch. Lambert took it beautifully, drilling it in, and I suspect there was a touch by Henrik Larsson. Well, they can argue about that one in the dressing room between the pair of them. Let's see how we can adjudicate this. Back out to Lambert it goes, and blasted in, and there might have been the slightest touch there by this man. Will he claim it? Floated in there, back out it comes. Watch the drive in, keep your eye on the ball. Yes, it was Larsson, and like all strikers, jealously guarding the record, he'll claim it. And there goes the halftime whistle on an afternoon that's belonged clearly to Chris Sutton. There he is, he must be absolutely delighted, taking a little bit of the pressure off himself, because a lot of people expected high things, and high is an operative word for the way he can get up in the air. He's done twice brilliantly. Two different kind of headers, two different ways of putting it in the back of the net, with the same effect, of course, putting Celtic well in front at that stage. And then this remarkable goal, a ball coming out just after Moravcik had a goal cleared, and on to Lambert, who thought he was the one who had put it in the back of the net, but as you could see, it was the great predator himself, Henrik Larsson, who got that final touch. And the Hearts have given us not a clue as to how they might come back from this, as Celtic lead by 3-0 at half-time. Start of the second half, Hearts have made the changes. Well, Chris O'Neill and Juanjo are now both on. And by the way, Celtic's biggest Premier League win at Tynecastle was a 5-1 victory back in 1984. And the way Hearts are playing, that record is in danger. Yes, on to Sutton again. Held the control very well. That's a penalty kick. Right at the start of the half, and once again, a Hearts defence confused by that ball played into the penalty area, and Willie Young exasperated as any complaint about this, shooing the Hearts players away. And Sutton again, his height, his strength and his tenacity paying off, and all the complaints turned away by Willie Young. Only a minute into this second half. Oh, that's unprecedented. Well, when you're 3 up, maybe there's just a lack of self-discipline in these situations. Obviously tried to deceive the goalkeeper and wrong-foot him, which to an extent he did, but he wrong-footed himself. I said at the start this was going to be a very difficult match for him, but it's turned out to be easier, a lot easier than even he must have thought. McSwegan, can he bring it down? Yes, I think a free kick as McNamara clicked O'Neill as he came forward. A lot of pace in the way they both went for it, and I think that was almost inevitable when the contact was made. Tomaszek is there, so is Severin. Oh, that's it! He took that very cleanly. Severin coming up on it. Now that had to be of the finest judgment. A cluster of players in front of him. Can't be too many spaces, and there's the little crack that appeared, which deceived Jonathan Gould. There was no chance for that. And 11 minutes into this half, and Hearts pulling themselves back to what they hope is more than respectability. Now McSwegan must be on Cameron. Juanjo still fighting for it. Here's McSwegan. That's a decent ball, and Niobe is there. And for the first time in a long while, we can hear that Hearts supporters are in the stadium. Well, there's a good one, it just passed. Well, now this man is playing out of his skin for his side. Scott Severin again. It wasn't far away, and surely this man is leading by example. Now McNamara, that's a better ball, and Hearts have pushed forward. Left gaps again. Sutton. Here's Moravcik, going round the outside. There it is, that does it. He took that so well just when Hearts were getting back into the game. The counter-attack, gaps in the Hearts defence. They had a lot of work to do, even though they had possession. They kept it well. Good combination here between the pair of them. But look what he had to do yet. Remarkable how composed he kept himself, because that was a really superbly taken goal. 4-1. 17 minutes into this half, and Celtic may have dispelled what may have been any suggestion of a Hearts comeback. Flogo fighting hard for it, and he gets the assistance of the referee that time. A lot of swing at it, and Tomaszek. Oh dear. You might have thought it was easier to score there. Well, look at the way that Sutton used his head to put the ball in the back of the net. Just scooping underneath it. Smith picked up that one. The ball's still in play. Deal with it. Wanjo's done it! Brilliant goal by Wanjo. Great play by O'Neill as he went down the left-hand side, and Wanjo coming in on it there. Always a difficult ball to take, falling away to your right-hand side, and he put it in with the greatest of aplomb. Just flicked across it. Watch the way he bends back at it. 4-2 in this remarkable game, and still a long way to go. It was a tempting one, and Larsson was there and uncovered again. They're looking at each other. Well, if you watch this one again, it's Larsson you've got to watch with in relation to the defenders. Look, he's in between them, in between three of them. Oh, the high ball in the air being picked off by the Celtic defenders. Now, I think there's going to be a free kick for that, and I think there was a collision there, and Larsson senses the seriousness of it with Severin, asking for the physio to come on right away, and Larsson is concerned about that. There's a challenge between the pair of them, and it was that elbow going in. Well, you could see it from that angle as well. And that struggle to get the ball, the flying elbow, you might say. Swigan seemed to run away from it. Boyd, McNamara. That's a bit of ball inside, touch to Larsson. Here's Peta, should finish it. No, good save. Beautiful dummy again by Larsson, fully aware of what's around him. Peta comes up. All credit to Niemi for closing it down very well. I think of being very ambitious, trying to play it down the outside as the whistle goes, and without any question the Celtic supporters delighted with that. They had the moment's hearts in a game that was very high on entertainment value. It had virtually everything. This man, Chris Sutton, setting the path for Celtic's victory with the two headers, and then Larsson coming in to get that touch from the shot by Lambert, although he might feel a little red-faced watching his penalty miss, which would have ended the game there and then. It allowed Hearts to come back in, and Severin, who I thought was outstanding, coming in with that glorious shot there to pull them back into the game, followed by what I thought was a candidate for the goal of the match, with Moravcik getting that ball through and under difficulties putting it into the back of the net. And how about this for a glorious goal by a substitute? Not an easy ball to take, coming across his body. Certainly they put respectability on the scoreline, but no question about that Celtic victory by 4 goals to 2.
I've got to say that we were never coasting. Perhaps if you can talk about maybe turning points in the game, just after half-time we've got a penalty. We've missed the penalty, and a minute later we missed a decent chance. Hearts got a bit of hope and heart from that there. They come back at us very, very strongly. Scored a goal, had us under the cosh. Delighted to get a goal again to lead 4-1. And even then it was far, far from certain.
First half, Celtic were first to everything. I don't think Celtic were that great the first half. I just think that Hearts were that bad. We didn't compete well enough. We were used to the ball. We didn't, couldn't get possession, couldn't get anything flowing. And the goals we gave away were shocking.
So many people have talked about Sutton and Larsson, but Petter today was the ideal provider for you.
Yeah, no, he probably hit 2 great balls in. The first one I think was probably more difficult to miss than score. The second one was another good ball. But as I say, the main thing is me and Henrik got on the end of things, and 3 points for Celtic.